What's dangerous is when the universe pick you and you put on the magic glasses. There's rules that go with them. You can never take them off. You never see things as they're supposed to be. You see things as they are. And you can never force nobody else to wear them.
I think while I lie awake and contemplate tonight are wearing me out. Well, maybe tomorrow the world will wake and get it right, but I have my doubts, yeah. During the day, well, I design machines of war that scream through the sky. 'Cause I, for one, I like to go to bed free at night under these stars and stripes. And I have my doubts that we're coming out. Yes, I have my doubts, and I have my doubts that we'll make it back out. Yes, I have my doubts, but they'll wind you up and pull the cord until you're spun right out. And I don't understand. Roll the dice and raise the price to feed the machine's mouth. Call it the progress of man. And I have my doubt that we're coming out. Yes, I have my doubt. And I have my doubt that we'll make it back out. I have my doubts, so I'll drink my stuff and raise some hell and shoot my guns to the end of my time. You can have the booze and go to hell and take the guns, but I know they won't be mine. We're coming out. Yes, I have my doubts, and I have my doubts that we'll make it back up. Yes, I have my doubts. So we're all messed up and out of touch. Let's text someone who's in the other room. So don't wonder why we don't say hi or know anyone. I might as well move to the moon. So maybe I'm wrong. Well, I hope that I'm wrong. So maybe I'm wrong. Well, I hope that I'm things I think while I lie awake and contemplate at night are wearing me out.
Good evening. Hope everyone is doing well. It's been a kind of a busy day for me. I trying to get a couple of pictures up because I'm an idiot and I can't resist. So I'm a little discombobulated, so you're going to have to bear with me just a little bit. The daughter of an old high school friend needed some help with her vehicle, so that kind of put me behind as far as getting set up for the show. That's why you see me still putting stuff in. But I think I'm good now. And get that mood back over there. Anyway, like I said, I've been kind of busy today doing stuff, which is a good thing. I got a fair amount more done on the website that I'm starting for the local community here. Let's see. Let me get it switched over. I've been working on the calendar specifically and trying to get everything a little more fine-tuned as to how I want it. But I think I've got the calendar on the way to being good to go. I still have to populate all the other months. I got the first 2 months. I think I got all the events in, and then I have to continue on until I reach the end of what they have set up. So, but I don't think that there's anything as far as voting or council seats or anything like that I can put in as of yet. So I'll deal with that as soon as I can. I'll add those in as soon as I can. It's a slow process, and that's just the way it is. However, that's a good thing because that gives us time to organize, and it gives us time to have discussions and get people engaged and explain to people why it's important that they get engaged and why it's important that we take these steps and make this stuff happen. It's going to make for a lot of unhappy people that's currently serving in public roles, but I don't know what to tell them. It's on them for not listening to what the townspeople wanted to begin with, and nobody else can take any blame for that. So, to me, it's important to remind the people that we are the ones that make the decisions, not government. But it's a good thing we've got time to be able to do that. So I got that done. I don't know if I had the preparedness page done yesterday. I don't know if I showed you that or not. But I've got a little bit of a preparedness page on there because, hey, why not? And just a matter of getting everything put together. However, I had a little bit of time for some tomfoolery today, and there was a big to-do about our new trash pickup and all of that good stuff, and there was a big discussion about whether or not people should have been putting their new cans out or what have you. And our pickup's tomorrow, and we got the new can out there regardless. And I took the opportunity to show people how it is that they're supposed to have their cans. And so you have to have your cans 5 feet away from any object or anything like that. So I was making sure people understood how they could measure to make sure that their cans were 5 feet away from anything. And also they have to be 1 foot away from the street. And I don't know how more accurate you can get than actually measuring with a foot. So yeah. And most everybody thought it was funny except for one of the town board members. And I don't know what to say, yo. Maybe, here's the thing. I get very concerned when people that are public servants get mad because other people are wanting to basically remind everybody of who it is that they actually work for. When you have individuals in city government that get mad when the residents of that city assert what their role really is, that's when you've identified a tyrant. That is clearly when you've identified a tyrant. And I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of tyrant identification that goes along with this process. Like I've said, I urge people to get involved in their local government. Get involved, find out what's going on. Do your best to, make sure that everything's in order, that everything's being done correctly. You have the right to do that. And you're definitely not in the wrong for doing that. I would imagine that there's a lot of towns that are dealing with the same thing, much the same thing, probably more so with the issues with emergency services, issues with not so much trash. That's kind of a just our situation kind of thing, but there seems to be a big push to consolidate emergency services and to consolidate the telecommunications for the emergency services. And I don't think that that's happenstance. I don't think that's an accident. I think that that is clearly an effort to try to more centralize the government. It's not good. It's not good at all. Not good for anybody. It's not good for the people that live in the town. It's not good for, it's not even good for law enforcement and first responders. Not even good for them. One of the major concerns here with the changes with the EMS is that people could be either waiting longer for response or, for instance, if you've only got one ambulance on call, on staff, and you've got more than one issue that needs to be addressed, well, then that's gonna put somebody in a pretty bad situation real quick. I know somebody had made a comment about they live in one of the other towns nearby that we used to service, and their concern is, I think they said 7 minutes longer, if I'm not mistaken, something like that, that it would take, an ambulance 7 minutes longer to be able to reach their location. Well, depending on the emergency, it can come down to every second counts. And I really feel for the people that are looking at having something like that affect the chances of their survival. Anybody that's got heart conditions or anything like that, every second counts. And I know the saying is every minute, but it sometimes it comes down to seconds. And by just adding on several more minutes, you can definitely make a bad situation worse real quick. So anyway, before we get started on this stuff with Boeing and that crazy stuff, yesterday I had spoke about a fight that had happened in the Hazelwood area. And that is still, I need to take another peek and see if there's any more information on how the young lady is doing. And that is insane. In fact, that article here, let me pull it up and let me pause the video real quick before it starts. Let me see if they say anything new, and I'll update you as well. Let's see. Remained in critical condition as of Sunday. Yeah, it's not saying anything new, but I will dig a little bit deeper. I'll throw this web page off to the side here, and I'll look a little bit deeper, see if anybody else has any more up-to-date information as to the well-being of the young lady. However, I guess today, a 14-year-old boy was stabbed and died of his injuries. This was in Jennings, and I'm not quite sure where Jennings is. Let me, I have no idea. Let me pull this up. Here we go. It's in St. Louis County, so... yeah, it's not too far. That's Jennings right there. And of course, this is the Mississippi River. Of course, you see St. Louis, so Jennings is right there. It's not very far from actual St. Louis. Pretty close, actually. Trying to get us on the map here. Okay, we're way over here, to give you reference, and we're about 30 miles away from St. Louis. So, yeah, maybe 10 or just a little less than 10 miles away from St. Louis is Jennings. So anyway, the article here, a 14-year-old boy died after he was stabbed in Jennings, police said. St. Louis County Police confirmed the boy, a Jennings Junior High School student, was taken to the hospital after being stabbed in the 2300 block of Hort Avenue just after 3 p.m. Tuesday. He died at the hospital. The stabbing did not happen at a school, police said. Police told First Alert 4 that they are looking for the suspect. The act does not appear to be random, police said. St. Louis County Police will provide additional patrols at Jennings Junior High School in the upcoming days. They have a crew on the scene and will update the story as details become known. And it's been that since, well, for at least 3 hours, because as soon as I heard about it, I looked, and that's all the information they had. So they haven't updated that. I don't know what is going on with the youth, but I really hope they calm down. Apparently, they at least have a good idea of what was behind this latest incident. It's a bit concerning that they don't have any more details than that. I will say that much. Or at least that they're not releasing any more details. They made the statement that it doesn't appear to be a random thing. It would be nice if they went just a little bit further, but maybe because of the case itself, maybe they can't be outright about a lot of details right now. So, it's insane. It is truly insane. Let me get this article shared out so it's up at the top when we're done. Well, anyway, I'm going to try to have a nice, easy, kind of quick in and out show tonight. I'm going to try. I still got a few things to do before I go to bed. I want to look up what parts that this young lady is going to need to fix her headlights the correct way. And it looks like she's in luck that the parts are available and they are not super duper expensive from the way it looks. And that's good news. I hope that is correct. I have to dig yet and see. Weird. It was a very weird setup from what I'm used to, but the adjusters, you can just spin them like crazy and the headlights don't move at all. So I've got a very jerry-rigged way that I've at least got the lights aimed up so that she can see to drive, but they are not correct, and I'm not 100% confident that they're going to stay up. So I told her I would find out what it was that she would need, and we'd get it done the right way. So that one, that little quick, well, I say quick, it took me a little bit. It took every bit of hillbilly redneck ingenuity that I had in me. It involved zip ties and hemp string. Anyway, I originally tried potholers, and that wasn't working. Seriously. What I was going to try to do was take a piece of potholder, and I wanted to use something that could handle the heat. I was going to use a piece of pot holder and stuff it up above it to, so that it would help keep it pushed down. And for whatever reason, I guess it was the angle that I had to work with. That just wasn't happening. So anyway, coffee number 1, by the way, and I probably will finish my second cup tonight. Because I'll be up a little bit looking about this car, and then I'll probably do a little bit of website stuff. I have been having a heck of a time getting to sleep, and I'm not used to that. And I kind of wonder if possibly my body is trying to go back to my old. I've never been a morning person. I have never been up in the morning and in bed early at night kind of person, and I'm kind of wondering if my body's, my biological clock, if you will, if it's trying to revert back to my old schedule, which was, my old schedule was I was up all night, and I typically go to bed when I saw the sun coming up, and it hasn't been that way for 10 years. It's been up early in the morning, in bed early at night, and I don't know, I kind of got used to that. I hope it's not reverting back, because I kind of like the idea of being up in the mornings and in bed at night. But coffee is good. Okay. Now, on to the show that I intended to do. Boeing whistleblower found dead. It's crazy. A former Boeing employee has been found dead in the U.S. days before he was due to give evidence in a whistleblower lawsuit against the aerospace giant. Boeing's production standards in the U.S. and worldwide have come under increased scrutiny recently following a mid-air blowout on one of their planes in January. John Barnett, a 62-year-old former Boeing quality manager, was found dead in his car, allegedly from a self-inflicted wound in a hotel parking lot, 7 years after retiring from a 32-year career with the group. The local Charleston County coroner confirmed Barnett's death, and a police investigation is ongoing. In 2019, Barnett told the BBC that he saw Boeing employees pressured into deliberately fitting substandard parts in aircraft to cope with increased demand. He said he uncovered problems with the oxygen systems in 2016 during his stint as quality manager, where up to a quarter of the breathing masks did not deploy properly during emergency scenario testing. The failure to follow procedures at the factory led to some components going missing, sometimes with non-compliant parts being taken from scrap bins and fitted to planes on the production line to prevent delays, he told the News Corporation. According to Barnett, his claims to the management did not lead to any action being taken. Boeing denied the whistleblower's assertions, conceding that some oxygen bottles were defective, but claiming that none of them were installed in their aircraft. Reviews in 2017 by the Federal Aviation Administration found that 53 non-conforming parts went off record at the factory. After his retirement in 2017, Barnett took on his former employer in long-running legal action, accusing the company of degenerating his character and hampering his career due to the issues he drew attention to, allegations Boeing denied. An FAA audit of Boeing and Spirit Aerosystems, prompted by January's 737 MAX 9 door blowout incident and published last Monday, identified non-compliance issues in Boeing's manufacturing process control, parts handling and storage, and product control. I don't know. And I think it's Amazon. Yep, delivery. Yep. In March 2019, a Boeing 737 MAX belonging to Ethiopian Airlines crashed soon after takeoff, killing all 157 passengers and crew. The incident came 5 months after a Lion Air 737 MAX crash in Indonesia, which killed all 189 people aboard, or something. The tragedies led to a 20-month grounding of the corporation's 737 MAX aircraft line. So, man, I hear some kind of dinging. I have had notifications going off left and right. Hang on. Okay, that is a false notification. I thought so. Anywho, I have an article related definitely, or directly and definitely, to that non-compliance issue. And I'm not buying for a second that that gentleman took his own life. Not for a second. Yep, Amazon. I thought it was. And Blue's growling at him. But, yeah, I didn't buy that for a second. I really don't think that, that was the case. Oh, pardon me. Multiple non-compliance issues exposed in Boeing safety audit, says New York Times. This here says a U.S. safety audit of Boeing's 737 MAX 9 manufacturing process ordered in the wake of an airline's mid-air door blowout earlier this year has found dozens of quality control shortcomings, including the use of dish soap and a hotel key card as makeshift tools. The New York Times reported on Tuesday that the U.S. Federal Aviation Administration identified 97 non-compliance issues at Boeing and failed the aircraft maker on 33 out of 89 product audits. Although the agency did not release a copy of its report to the public, FAA Administrator Michael Whitaker said in a statement that Boeing must make reforms to ensure that its jets are safe. This won't be back to business as usual for Boeing, Whitaker said. They must commit to real and profound improvements. The FAA also conducted audits of fuselages produced by Boeing supplier Spirit Aerosystems, reportedly finding safety shortcomings in 7 out of 13 cases. Investigators saw Spirit mechanics putting dish soap on a door seal as a lubricant to fit up to the fit-up process, the New York Times reported. The workers also used a key card to check the seal on the door and wiped away the dish soap with a wet cheesecloth. Now, here's something you need to understand. The aviation world, and I'm not talking about these mechanics or anything like that, but the aviation world is in from the angle of the FAA. Are out of their minds. So, the good thing about flying ultralight airplanes is you don't have to play their games. Okay, you can work on your own aircraft. If you want to put something different in it, you go out and you put something different in it. If you have an aircraft that's, a regular, say, a general aviation licensed aircraft, that part, no matter what it is, has to be fitted by a certified A&P, an airplane mechanic. Every single thing for an aircraft costs a fortune. Even down to a single bolt or nut costs a fortune. In ultralights, you didn't have to worry about that. And even though that you can get the very same grade bolt from your local farm supply or your local hardware store as what you could at the aviation place, if it's a licensed aircraft, you're supposed to go to the aviation place, even though it's the same bolt. Supposedly, they are checked to a higher standard. Now, I was born at night, but not last night. This whole using dish soap in my opinion, is perfectly fine. Dish soap is what I used to always use to seal car tires. Why? Because why pay for the more expensive crap that is labeled for that exact use when dish soap works just as well? I believe that dish soap would be fine on that door seal and cause no issue. As far as they're using a hotel key card to check the fit, yeah, okay. There are often things that you find when working on, whether it be cars, airplanes, whatever. There's often ways, means, and methods that you find that work a lot better than quote-unquote the official way. One of the most dangerous organizations that there is, as far as the U.S. workforce is concerned, is OSHA. There are many times when, because of OSHA mandates, somebody is actually in a more dangerous situation than if they didn't have that stupid nonsense. In other words, a lot of times there's certain guards that OSHA might require, but at the same time those guards are actually causing more of an issue than a benefit. That happens quite a bit, actually. There's all kinds of nonsense involving it. Yes, some of their stuff does make sense. Yes, there needs to be some checks and balances, because let's face it, there are a lot of individuals out there that don't care about their employees. They don't care about the risk that their employees take. But at the same time, anytime you let the government get involved in anything, it becomes a big bureaucratic mess and winds up causing more harm than it does good. So you have to really be able to discern the difference between a nonsense complaint and an actual bona fide issue. In my opinion, I don't think that this dish soap and hotel card issue is really an issue. I think the guys and gals were doing what worked good, what worked in their, in their situation on their behalf, and I don't think there was any issues with it. I really don't. I'm sure that there is probably some type of a specific lubricant / sealant that the FAA wants people to use. But I have a feeling that dish soap works just as well. It is, that's kind of one of those things. It is what it is, I'm not saying that what this other gentleman complained about was on the same level as this. In fact, I kind of doubt that it was. So again, you got to be discerning in it. That they want to make a lot out of nothing, and that is certainly a case of a lot out of nothing. They go on and talk about an event here that 737 MAX 8 operated by United Airlines rolled off a runway and tilted onto its side after landing in Houston on Friday. A day earlier, an Osaka-bound 777 operated by United was diverted after a tire fell off its landing gear upon takeoff in San Francisco. At least 50 people on a Boeing 787 operated by LATAM Airlines were injured on Monday when the jet heading to New Zealand from Australia went into a sudden nosedive, slamming passengers into the ceiling because of what the air carrier described as a technical event. There are issues, and there are issues that seriously need looked into. When you have wheels falling off when you're taking off, probably not a good thing. Those kinds of things need to be looked into. And if the regulators would focus more on those kind of things instead of crying about what them using dish detergent that does just as good of a job as whatever they're supposed to use, too much government is usually a problem. All the way, all there is to it. Too much government is usually a problem. See what I mean? U.S. finds money for another Ukraine aid package. Just when you thought it was safe to pay taxes. Okay, yeah, it's not safe to pay taxes. Man, this is insane. Man, that coffee's going down good. U.S. finds money for another Ukraine aid package, says Reuters. Says the Biden administration... normally don't read that part. U.S. President Joe Biden's administration has reportedly put together $400 million in funding for weapons for Ukraine. The first such package in months. Those in favor... Hang on a minute. I gotta figure out what the deal is with my taskbar. Those in favor of continued funding for Kiev's military have struggled to secure congressional approval for more expenditure. The new aid package comprises credits refunded to the Pentagon for recent purchases, because they're on the, they've got the, what do you call it, the cashback credit card plan. Reuters reported on Tuesday, citing two unidentified U.S. officials. The White House ran out of money for Ukraine in January after burning through $113 billion, that's with a B, in congressionally approved aid packages. Republican lawmakers have balked at approving Biden's request for a $95 billion emergency spending bill that includes more than $60 billion for Ukraine. The U.S. president has blamed Republicans for Ukraine's recent struggles on the battlefield, arguing that the key Donbass stronghold of Avdiivka, and I know I never said that right once, fell to Russian forces last month because Kiev's troops had to ration their ammunition. CIA Director Bill Burns warned members of the U.S. Senate Intelligence Committee on Monday that failure to approve additional aid funding for Ukraine would lead to more Avdiivkas. He added that it seems to me would be a massive and historic mistake for the United States. He also claimed that the U.S. can provide enough weapons, Ukrainian forces can regain the offensive initiative by late 2024 or early 2025. Biden's likely challenger in this year's presidential election, presumptive Republican nominee Donald Trump, has vowed to quickly end the Russia-Ukraine conflict by forcing the leaders of both countries to the negotiating table. Trump's plan for ending the crisis includes halting aid to Kiev, according to Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban, who met with the former U.S. president on Friday. Donald Trump will not give a penny to the Ukraine-Russia war, Orban told Hungarian broadcaster M1 on Sunday. He added that European allies would not be able to fund the conflict if Ukraine's biggest benefactor, Washington, stopped sending weapons. The latest assessment of U.S. national security threats, based on input from Washington's 18 spy agencies, said Russian President Vladimir Putin probably believes his strategy for victory in Ukraine is paying off, and that Western aid to Kiev will wane. The report conceded that Russian forces have been making battlefield gains in the former Soviet Republic since late last year and are benefiting from uncertainties about the future of Western military assistance. So they need to be worried about future Western military assistance, at least from the United States. This stuff is nonsense. Absolute nonsense that's going on. Anyway, we have a disgruntled puppy dog. Oh, she's not. She's just over there trying to be as ignoring us as possible, because she's had a bad afternoon. She wasn't able to go outside and have her nose up my butt when I was working on the car. How horrible am I? I didn't want her jumping up on the car, scratching the car. All right. Run through the headlines, and we'll get out maybe a little bit early tonight. Uh-oh. Now apparently we have a ghost in the other room. I don't know what it was that just fell, but something fell. NATO chief refutes Macron comment. Russia repels overnight Ukrainian drone attacks, says MOD. Russia repels saboteur attack in Kursk region, says an official. Pussy Riot founder's sentence is overturned. That's... I can't go there. Let's see. Andrew Tate and brother arrested in Romania. I'm trying to be good. Not giving billions of dollars to Kiev would be a historic mistake, says CIA chief. Well, go on over there and fight, homie. Zelensky, a clown for bad-mouthing the Pope, says Maduro. But as we all know, it's okay for Zelensky to say anything to anybody. He gets a green light. Let's see. Oops. Wrong window. EU to start sending Russian money to Ukraine this summer, says Financial Times. NATO head rejects Pope's white flag appeal to Ukraine. Russian MOD reveals details of Ukrainian incursion attempts. French court orders fired banker to repay $5 million. Ukrainian drone bomb hits Russian regional government building, says an official. Investors lobbying for EU military spending splurge, says Bloomberg. Hamas leaders are all dead men, says Netanyahu. A Ukrainian film cut from Oscars international feed, says media. Pentagon reveals $10 billion arms hole due to Ukraine, says media. Pardon me. Displaced Ukrainian kids want to live in Russia, says human rights boss. Russia shows latest destruction of U.S.-made HIMARS. Trump tightens control over GOP, says Politico. Poland's MOD contradicts top diplomat on Ukraine's troop deployment. EU criminalizes sanctions evasion. Biden budget proposal announced. A military transport plane crashes in Russia. Russia summons Swiss envoy over Ukraine funding plans. Let's see. Germany reaffirms position on sending Taurus missiles to Ukraine. Russian army liberates another Donbass town, says MOD. I don't know why I said MOB. Ukrainian secret police raids Christian church-aligned journalists. Russia deploys dramatically effective weapons against Ukraine. Romanian president enters race for NATO leadership. Russia releases video of failed Ukrainian incursion attempt. UK to donate old polluting vehicles to Ukraine. Putin names Russia's most important and powerful weapon. Pardon me. Boeing's... covered that one. UK will no longer prescribe puberty blockers to children. U.S. senators urge Biden to stop arming Israel, says New York Times. Support for LGBTQ protections declines, says a poll, and that is in the U.S. Germany reveals huge military shortages. Trump pledges to release Capitol rioters. And that's like the first I've heard anything like that. Moscow reacts to U.S. complaints over South American media presence. Macron panicked over leaked Ukraine reports, says Marianne. Whoever Marianne is. EU state blasts Biden's dictatorship remarks. Ukraine's ammo shortage hurts U.S. strategically, says White House. Biden escaped prosecution on senile cooperator theory, says U.S. lawmaker. And lastly, Russia's response to asset seizure could trigger global financial collapse, says Reuters. We all know that they're going to blame the financial collapse on somebody. Of course, it could have nothing to do with anything that our government or our financial, entities had anything to do with. No way. Couldn't be Wall Street, couldn't be the banks themselves, and it surely couldn't be the government. Oh no. Russia. It was Russia. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Anyway, I am going to take advantage of being done a little quick, and I am going to boogie and look up what she's going to need for her headlights so I can get a message to her so she knows something. And then, God willing, I'll be back tomorrow. I had a pretty productive day. That's a good thing. Anyway, I am out of here. I appreciate y'all coming. Hope to see you tomorrow. As always, God bless you. We love you. Be one with your spirit. And shalom.